KGVO Missoula Sports Talk Tonight and streaming online at Newstalk, KGVO.com.
Good evening, Missoula, Montana. It is Sports Talk Tonight with Gerns and Bedard live from the KGVO studios. At least I think we're in the studios, Denny, because I hope I'm in the right building because the smoke is so thick today that I do not know where I go.
We should distribute miners' helmets to all of our listeners who are putting up with this. At least you got out of it for a little while, right?
I did, but as I was walking into my house this afternoon, I heard the thunder. Huge thunder and lightning storms in the Butte area last night. Yes, I did get out of it. Went to Washington last week, saw the family and such. Although when I was coming back through Snoqualmie, it was smoky as hell. Lake Catchis, you know that lake that big lake that's on your. I guess it's on the southern side if you're going east back to Missoula.
Gotcha.
Really smoky there. I tell you what, I love the Seattle area, the Puget Sound area. It's so pretty and I really enjoyed growing up there, but I tell you what, that damn traffic.
Sea of humanity.
So I'm thinking, okay, I left from my mom's house in Eastern Washington, and I'm like going, oh, not to be confused with Cheney, but she lives in Eastern Washington, other side of the mountains.
Okay. That's almost Central Washington.
Yes.
You could say Central Washington. Then it'd be okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hit North Bend at about 10:30 a.m. and the rush hour going to work's not happening. The going to lunch isn't happening. I mean, I was bumper to bumper stop. It was friggin' ridiculous. I don't know. I guess you just have to travel at midnight.
You're kind of out of practice. I mean, it was even when you were growing up. I assume there was a lot of traffic, relatively speaking. You're just saying it's gotten a lot worse, and you are no longer accustomed.
Well, and I was down in Tumwater, which is at the very southern edge of the Puget Sound, and we didn't go much more than 10 miles anywhere you went. So, I've never been to the Space Needle before, and I'm, so that's, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Never been.
Oh, dear.
Never been up there, but.
And you were just close by again.
But anyway, I digress.
Maybe you can go in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I digress. This is Sports Talk Tonight. We are on the AM dial 1290, on the FM side 98.3. Remember, we are streaming worldwide on newstalkkgvo.com. Follow us on Twitter, 500 and something followers at Sports Talk Back. Let's get it to 1,000, huh, Kyle? Yeah. Our podcasts are online
Kyle's job.
newstalkkgvo.com. Our phone number, of course, 721-1290. And I heard you had a pretty good show last week.
My thanks to Sports Information Director and House Band member, of course, Eric Tabor, who not only was gracious enough to fill in for you, but he even brings guests. He just figures, well, I'm down the hall. I guess I'll go get me a University of Montana Grizzly football defensive coordinator. So Jason Seymour was on the show, and great interview. I just kind of sat here and watched the meters bounce and kind of chitty-chatted with Kyle off microphone because Eric's become a phenomenal interviewer. He just took it and ran with it.
Well, I see that I leave and you bring the defensive coach around. And today I guess we can talk about offense, and I wouldn't even feel bad about it.
No, our sports information director did that. So because I was asking him, it's one of those deals where you try to ask it in such a way that maybe he'll think, okay, the guy doesn't have a guest lined up. Why don't I just do it for him? And I guess I've got pretty good at that.
Kudos to Eric Tabor.
Yeah, and so Eric brought Jason in, and man, can you just see it in his eyes and hear it in his voice how excited that guy is to get going with this year's defensive unit. It was pretty cool. I mean, it's everybody is undefeated this time of year. Well, I guess a few teams aren't now, but as of last week they still were, and every coach is going to kind of have that feeling. But just an awful lot of optimism.
Hey, Denny, I know usually people do their projections before the season starts.
Yes, sir.
But I say, since I just thought of it, and I should have thought of it 3 weeks ago, we need to do some Big Sky standing projections for the season. And as long as we do them before the league season starts, we're fine. So for next week,
okay,
why don't we have after we've seen everybody playing some stats and what have you?
Okay, well, frankly, mine are on my desk somewhere. You know how desks get?
Oh, sure.
Because I had to vote in the media poll prior to their meetings in say, the Big Sky kickoff down in not in Salt Lake, in Park City.
Where the hell's my vote?
Well, I don't know. I think you could get one.
I don't.
If you you would
I've been
just,
on air for 20.
You would just email the sports info department at Big Sky Conference and say I'd like to be on there.
Well, I just got to talk to John Casper.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. Although John, I think John's actually been elevated. I think John's moved beyond that.
Well, I'll just I'll
if you
call in a favor.
If you got a hold of John Casper, he would put you in the media group. And,
who's the guy that always voting for the Grizzlies to be number one? Oh, yeah, that'd be me.
Well, then they would have got 2 first place votes instead of just the 1.
Oh man, football.
I should participate more actively. Sometimes I tend to not do the basketball one. Sometimes I think I do start to feel guilty because I'm going to be biased. But then I think every media in every market is going to be a little bit biased. They're either going to be biased or they're so dang mad at their football team and think that they're pathetic and worthless that they're going to put them at the bottom. So they're either going to vote them at the top or vote them at the bottom.
No, they are. And you know what, Denny? I think that if you cleared off your fantasy football projection sheets, you might find your Big Sky prognostications.
Yeah, I think you're right. Or maybe I accidentally stapled them to my fantasy football sheets.
Next Thursday?
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Not a week from Tuesday.
A week from Tuesday. So
yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so my other 5 are next week.
We're in a sissy league that we play a game first before you start picking guys.
It's funny. I already owe somebody 4 slices of pizza and 2 tall boy Heinekens.
Speaking of...
Yes, Kyle.
Kyle
Stensrud, our executive producer. You got a mic right there.
No, turn his mic off. Turn his mic off.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't we have a little wager some time ago? Like a long time ago?
What was it? Final Four? In March? Madness?
It was March Madness.
It was March Madness.
It was March Madness.
Somebody owes us pizza and adult beverages.
Well, okay.
Well, I'll have to ask my wife if I can.
Blah, blah, blah.
My fellow Viking fan will
She will
do
allow
it if
a couple
ask.
other Viking fans. A Seahawk can take out the Viking.
You know,
boy.
I know it was
you're the
only
smart aleck,
I know it was
Mark,
only
I'm sure.
preseason, but it was probably the most exciting preseason game of the NFL season. The Vikings and
I did not.
That team from
the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Vikings and the 49ers.
Niners.
Yeah, it was an exciting ball game.
The old third-string quarterback.
Yeah, I know we probably watched a lot of guys that we won't be watching.
No, he's second. Heinke?
He's from Old Dominion.
Old Dominion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Broken ribs and all.
And he had busted up ribs, and they still had him in there playing. I guess when you're the number 3 quarterback and you're trying to make a spot, you're going to play with busted up ribs.
Well, don't let Jennifer draft him with the 2nd-round pick.
It was a walk-off.
Did I say that out loud?
She heard that.
Oh, boy.
Walk-off 2-point conversion.
Nice. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Walk-off 2-point
right.
conversion.
Hey, by the way, thank you. Thank you for Blair Walsh, by the way, who has been
We'll give him time.
perfect. I think he's been perfect in the preseason. He hit the crossbar on one of them.
I never thought he was that bad a kicker. He just picked a bad time to be the worst kicker.
He just wanted to get to the Seahawks. He gave the game to the Seahawks in the playoffs, and then it's all part of the plan.
I think it was cold, but that's no excuse.
How come they no longer have Hauschka?
Well, you know what?
Did he free agent and go to the Buffalo Bills?
He missed a lot of extra points last year too.
So he was on thin ice.
Yeah,
anyway.
he was. And I think he was getting to the point where you got to start paying him a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Blair Walsh he did well. He just, like you said, he just picked a bad time.
He's got one of the stronger legs in the NFL.
I'll tell you what worries me about our fantasy league picks now. There's the text Jennifer heard the wisecrack.
Guernsey, I'm gonna.
There's another text. Jennifer heard the wisecrack.
You're getting the business.
Love you.
What I'm worried about the fantasy draft now is that we've been watching the HBO. What do they call it? Hard Knocks. So now it's like, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like that Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Oh, I like that Tampa Bay Buccaneer. You let personal prejudice, you let biases get in the way.
It's so sad there have been so many injuries, so many season-ending injuries.
And suspensions that'll have an impact too.
Hey, that Edelman thing is fake news. Somebody draft him high.
Right.
No, it's and they talk about
that is one of my favorite picks to try to get too. Is Julian Edelman?
I don't think I can. One. I can't pick a Patriot unless it's Brandon Cooks.
There is that. Yeah, there is that. Now Brandon Cooks would be.
Yeah. So It's going to be fun.
Always is.
I love fantasy football. I don't have the NFL package
You
this
must.
year.
You're in 6 leagues. Is that what you just
2,
said?
3, 4. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I probably get. I might
no
get
wonder Kelsey won't give you any pizza money. Jeez.
Well, when you run them, they pay for half of. To
when
run
you're
them,
the
they got to
czar.
pay me for half.
You're
of
the
them.
czar.
I am the czar. And then I do stats for our fantasy baseball league, and I get paid for that. So I use that money to pay for the football ones.
Yeah.
And then I might break even at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did the lovely Mrs. Bedard say?
Listeners are saying, so where is your guest? Well, we'll get to that in tell Scott to. Well, no, I can't do that. But yeah. Listeners
goodness.
are wondering, what about a guest? Well, we did have lined up, and then Dave realized, boy, I got some family conflicts tonight. I'd better pass. Much as I'd love to come. Former University of Montana Sports Information Director Dave Guffey was scheduled to be on tonight.
Dave Goat Guffey.
What happened there?
Greatest of all time.
Oh yeah,
There you
okay.
go. Goat.
All right. Yeah, and it would have been time, and it isn't why I invited him, but of course we lost a legendary coach and basketball coach in Judd Heathcote this week, and I think Dave, his first few years as SID at the U were probably while Judd Heathcote was there, so it would have been fun. But Dave said, can we get it? I said, how about next Wednesday? He said, I'd love to. So at least we got next week covered.
Hey, Denny, I've got a trivia question. Throw out a prize, just one prize.
Okay.
Just throw one out right now. Tell them what they'll win. I got one.
I've got extras of both. You want to have double winners tonight? You want to do your trivia and my trivia? Is that what you want
Let's
to do?
do it. I just had a trivia.
Okay. Well,
that's that
then,
quality show prep again.
Yeah.
I did.
Good to know. Okay. Well, then I'll float a couple of extra.
Because
Our prizes are the Works Car Wash to Happy Days Car Wash. You get a gift card for that, and you get a $10 gift certificate to Fuddruckers, world's greatest hamburgers on North Reserve. So I have double prizes this week. Is that what you're telling me?
Well,
because I don't want to miss my trivia. I mean, I worked.
You want 2 winners this week?
I want 2 winners, 2 questions.
Okay. So this
Do
question.
mine, let's just do mine first, and we don't even have to go off the air for it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Go ahead. If you know the answer to Guernsey's impromptu trivia question, 721-1290, we will still have normal trivia, super trivia,
Yes.
excellent
This
trivia,
is
and it's
bonus.
normal. Yeah,
Quality trivia.
This is filler, people. No, this is good.
All right.
This is good.
Do you
I
have
don't know if
multiple
I've seen
choices?
him
No,
recite
it's
it.
not multiple
You have
choice.
to submit the answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you going to write down the answer?
I know the
for me?
answer.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've got.
Yeah, I'll write it down for you. I'll tell you. Oh, here, I'll write
You
it down.
can't tell
Can't
me
tell him.
because then
Okay, but
he's going to tell me. He was going to tell me on the air, and
The
then people would
answer
have to
is
guess.
John.
okay. Hold on.
You have to write it, and I have to be able to look at it.
Okay, but I'm not going to give it to you.
721-1290 if you know the answer to Guernsey's.
Okay.
What is this? Impromptu bonus trivia?
Impromptu bonus trivia.
Same wonderful prize packages
Spell
we'll give
impromptu.
away during our regular trivia a little bit later on in the show.
IMPROMPTU.
All right. Well done.
Okay, so speaking of Judd Heathcote,
Which is the subject of the main trivia.
and that's great. So he won a national championship.
Yes, he did.
Basketball, NCAA.
All right.
Who is the other former coach to have won an NCAA national championship who passed away today?
Are you
Call
talking
it
about
right now.
Are you hint? Are you talking about a Montana coach?
Nope.
All right. Another
I
Former-
haven't even heard.
former
Head coach,
head coach, NCAA basketball
champion
passed
in the
away.
80s,
Okay.
passed away today as well.
721-1290. Okay.
There you go.
That's sad to hear. I was not aware of that. If you know the answer, no multiple choice.
No.
You're not giving.
Got to
out
give us
multiple
the
choice.
answer.
Okay. All right.
Let's see.
Well,
Hey,
if somebody dares, 721-1290. So
Yeah.
We'll wait on a winner and see about that.
oh, look at that. Phone's ringing already.
Google and Twitter are going crazy.
Yes.
Yes,
This
it
is
is.
where you.
Household
This is
is
where
where
you
we
boys.
fill.
This is
Me
where
and
you
Kyle
boys
talk.
fill,
We'll
and so
talk.
far been doing a great job.
I suppose
but-
we'll talk about the Seahawks
No, we'll talk about the Mariners.
Mariners
Speaking
and
of
the Twins.
And the Twins. You know,
Yeah.
5 weeks ago, the Mariners and Twins were both a half game back for the second wild card team, or wild card berth.
Right.
And now Seattle's, of course, once they can't get farther than 2 games above 500, and they've lost like 4 in a row now.
And the Twins have kind of started out strong, dogged it for a while. Now it's like all of a sudden they're kind of back in it again. I'm like, oh. What's going on here?
And it's really too bad because the Mariners they've used 38 pitchers this year. 38.
Did you get a winner already?
I did.
Wow.
I did get a winner already.
Good,
you might need some headphones.
Burns
Are you
was
going
whining
to,
about 38 something or not. I wasn't paying
I
attention.
missed whining. Well, I'm not sorry about that. We have guys trying to put headphones on over there.
There's
Scott
nothing
Guernsey's
plugged
trying
in here.
And Scott Smith on the phone. How you doing tonight, Scott?
Hey, doing good. Who's this?
This is Denny. Got Scott.
Denny.
Got
Denny
Gurns
Bernard. How you doing?
Great. Got Gurns right over there. Do you want to repeat the question to Scott, please?
Question or the answer?
No,
this
the
Scott.
other Scott. Sorry.
Is this the Scott Smith that I know?
It is.
Hey,
Hello, Scott.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
That was a pretty good question, impromptu, wasn't it?
It was.
Okay,
I just
see.
heard it today.
Let me see if I can remember what I asked. So Judd Heathcote, former University of Montana head coach, was a NCAA championship coach.
1979.
And named the other former NCAA national championship coach from the 80s that passed away today.
And the answer is what, Scott Smith?
And it was Raleigh Massimino.
Villanova.
1985.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
And we love Judd Heathcote. Great memories there.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, you bet.
We were there for all of his games.
Hey, Scott, thank you so much for playing and listening to the show. We love having you out there in the Sports Talk Tonight family. And you have agreed not to participate in official trivia in a couple minutes. That's good of you.
All right.
Because you already won.
We love your show, guys.
I'll get those mailed out to you, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Okay.
Scott
Bye.
Smith, our impromptu Gurns winner.
Obviously a very smart guy. His name is Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I think maybe
that was
Scott
pretty good
won.
for my first time.
Scott
Didn't
won
even know
once
that.
before, I think months ago. I had not read that yet today, no.
Well, I was just on
But
Google doing
I
something.
remember
saw it.
watching the game that he coached. They beat Georgetown.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. He's not Italian, was he?
Highest field goal percentage, I think. It was a low scoring game. They were so patient with the ball, though. But I think they had the highest field goal percentage in NCAA history for a championship. It was like 70-some% they shot.
Wow.
Yeah, and they beat Georgetown. So
Sounds like about 30 points higher than my free throw percentage in high school.
Ouch.
Jeez, no, you know what? I think I
Were
was
you aiming the
I was
right way?
59.
What?
Yeah, pretty bad.
Ugh.
Pretty bad.
wow.
That's when I wasn't dunking.
All 5'8" of you, Duncan.
8.5.
Got hot.
8.5.
Wait, sorry.
And I did grow since high school. Thank you. Denny, let's get on to let's get on the official.
You want to do that
trip.
before we go to break?
Do it.
We can
what
do
the
that
heck?
before we go to break.
What the heck?
All right. More trivia, and still brought to you by Fuddruckers and Happy Days Car Wash, 721-1290. And our winner will receive, of course, the gift card to Happy Days Car Wash for the Works Car Wash. Man, you want to get the ultimate in clean car. You go to locally owned Happy Days on Brooks between Pizza Hut and Fairbridge Inn. And also from Fuddruckers, world's greatest hamburgers, located on North Reserve. Hey, whatever you order off that menu, you get to top it yourself. You start with premium beef, buns made from scratch every single day, and then you go pile on the toppings just about on anything that you order there. That would include their latest entry, because they're always updating the menu, the Three Little Piggies Burger.
Oh.
You get the half-pound, get this, Gern, bacon-infused beef patty. That's Piggy 1. Pulled pork is Piggy 2. More bacon is Piggy 3. They top it with cheese and onion rings.
Shut the front door, Denny.
Three Little Piggies Burger, now available at Fuddruckers on North. 721-1290 if you know the answer to the official trivia question.
Denny, I got to go make a phone call here in a second.
Yeah, sure you do. Sit down. As we've been talking about just a little bit, and we'll talk more, Grizz Nation lost a legendary basketball coach on Monday with the passing of Judd Heathcote at the age of 90. Now, before moving on to a 19-year coaching career at Michigan State, Judd guided the Grizz to unprecedented success from 1971 to 1977. Well, who did Coach Heathcote replace in 1971 as head basketball coach for the Grizz? Was that A, Jim Brandenburg, B, Lou Rochlow, or C, Forrest Cox? Who did Judd Heathcote replace in 1971 as head coach of the Grizz? A, Jim Brandenburg, B, Lou Rochlow, or C, Forrest Cox? 721-1290 for trivia winner 2, Gurns.
That sounded so much more professional than mine.
Well, I didn't.
You've been doing this for a while,
prepped.
haven't you?
Well, in fairness, I prepped. You did a good
True.
job just impromptu.
Well, thanks, Denny. Yeah. Thank you. All right, so call. Be our second winner. That doesn't mean you're any less special than the first winner. Do call and win that prize package.
721-1290.
We'll be right back. Sports Talk tonight.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We are back. Sports Talk tonight with Gurns and Bedard. Brought to you in part by the Ranch Club.
Oh, man, listen to you.
Golf, dining, entertainment events, and the incredible pool. Visit them online at ranchclub.com, located just off Mullen Road. By Grizzly Liquor, located downtown next to the Iron Horse. Big Sky, big selection, online at grizzlyliquor.com. And by the Orange Street Food Farm, locally owned and operated grocery store featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection.
Listen to the fire in that delivery, man.
I tell
you are ready for the statewide tailgate show on Saturday.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am, Denny. Hey, we got a winner, Denny?
Oh, we do. We have a good friend to Sports Talk tonight and a good friend in general. In fact, she's the executive director of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Missoula. My buddy, Danette Rector. How are you, Danette?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Oh, just great. What's happening at Big Brothers and Big Sisters? Not only do you get to play trivia and win a prize or two, you get to promote your goings-on if you want to.
Oh, this is awesome. Yes, a lot is happening at our office right now. I'm looking for men. We have 72 kids on our waiting list, so we need some Big Brothers, and we do need some Big Sisters. So if anybody's thinking about getting involved and making a difference in a child's life, have them give us a call at Big Brothers and Sisters. And then, of course, we have bowling coming up on October 29th.
Oh, it's
and
early
28th,
this year.
So it's going to be early. It's going to have a theme that goes along with Halloween, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, Danette, let me just throw my little personal barb in here. If you look in your files, I know they're probably dusty from when back when I was a big brother. But I still have a little brother. His name's Jared, although he's bigger than me. He's getting married this year. But I think when he was it might have been fourth grade. All he wanted was a Grizzly football player to be his big brother, and this was after I was done playing actually. And I was involved in Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I want to say for about 4 years, but after that. We kind of did our own thing and stayed in touch, and we're buddies to this day. He lives in town.
Great story.
It was truly a very meaningful and just a I don't know. It was just great feeling that you could, even when you were a dork. The commercials, they didn't care. I mean,
and you know what? That probably happens on a fairly regular basis. And Danette, I'll bet you never ever get tired of hearing that kind of story. Right?
No, the stories are just awesome, and that's what it's all about. Or we create lifelong, friendships and relationships. So that's so cool, Scott, to hear that you're still, connected, with him. That's great.
Yep. It was awesome and very fulfilling. I hope it was for him. I know it was for me.
Gurns, you ought to bowl, since you're part of the radio, you ought to bowl on our radio team that we put together for Bowl for Kids' Sake every year. I don't think I've ever invited you.
October 29th, I will be in Seattle at the Seattle Seahawks versus the Houston Texans.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah. You ever heard of that Space Needle? Hey,
touche,
Danette. Grizz Nation lost a legendary basketball coach Monday with the passing of Judd Heathcote at the age of 90. Before moving on to a 19-year career at Michigan State, Judd guided the Grizz to unprecedented success from 71 to 77. But who did Coach Heathcote replace in 1971 as head basketball coach for the Grizz? Was that A, Jim Brandenburg, B, Lou Rochlow, or C, Forrest Cox? What do you think there, Danette Rector?
Lou Rochlow.
Montana had only one winning season in the decade before Judd Heathcote took over. One winning season, I tell you. Lou's year was not one of them, unfortunately. Lou Rochlow, who replaced Bob Cope, was head coach for 1 year, 70 to 71, and compiled a 9-15 record. Judd's overall record was 80-53 in 5 seasons with the Grizz. But that is the answer we were looking for, Lou Rochlow. Good job, Danette. We'll get your prizes mailed out to you, okay?
Danette, bonus question.
Yes.
More impromptu.
Name the other national championship that Judd Heathcote won.
Oh, it was with the Michigan Spartans, right?
It what? Well, that was.
He means another sport, which he
in
probably.
another sport. Oh, handball.
There you
Handball
go.
player.
There you go.
Which you probably didn't know until today. Right?
Oh, no.
You knew that?
No,
all?
I knew that.
I've
I
known
knew
that
that.
for years. In fact, Eric Tabor, the SID, and I were talking about that today.
Was he just the coach, or did he win a national championship? I might have just made that up.
No, they won.
Okay, good.
I think it's Montana's only
there you go.
upper level national title.
There you go.
Or something
See, I do remember stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Sometimes, Danette.
Danette, nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
All right. Danette Rector, from Missoula, of course, our latest winner, Gerns.
I am full of it
in
tonight.
Trivia 2.
I'm full of it
You are on
tonight.
fire. You are on fire. You are ready for the statewide tailgate show.
In fuego. In fuego.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I just got my stupid person of the week. Wow.
You just did that now, too.
Yeah, just right now.
Because you were busy preparing impromptu trivia.
Yes. Well, I had some others, but this one's better.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, goodness.
But,
That'd be our third phone call
so
tonight, Danny. That'd be a record.
It'll be fun to have Dave Guffey on next week. He can reminisce about, I'm sure he's got a lot of fond memories of Judd Heathcote.
I'm sure he does, Denny. Kyle?
The Mariners are 3.5 games behind the wild card position of Yankees and the Twins.
Yes. It's
3.5 games.
There's still time left. I just pray that there is something to play for and watch when we're over there in, well, I guess a week from Friday, when the Grizzly Alumni Association has the party the night before the Grizz play University of Washington.
Yes.
Which
and you're going as well as a whole pile of other folks, from my understanding.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be it. That ought to be a great weekend.
It should be a blast. As I'm going to be doing the pregame tailgate show with Sundberg and Riley in the box.
Right.
And my cousin Jeff, who works, he's got a pretty good job over there. He goes, "Hey, do you want to, before the game, do you want to tailgate on a yacht?" And I'm like, we're going to leave from Bellevue and we're going to cruise over. And I'm like, well, yeah, that sounds great, but I got to work, dude. And he's like, oh, man, it's too bad. And I was like, yeah.
You're not getting out of it either.
I'm sure you could figure out how to do the pregame show from the yacht.
No, you're not getting out of
the
it.
love boat.
I'm Guernsey.
Which one?
I'll be swimming with the Orca whales.
Yes. All right. Oh, record some of their tunes. See?
Beluga.
They do a really good Louie. If you can get one doing that, that's
Ooh, yeah.
cool. That is cool. No, you are going to be up in the booth at, what is their stadium called?
Husky Stadium?
Okay.
I think so.
You'll be up there at Husky Stadium.
Don James Field? That's a guess, but I'm assuming that's what it's called.
Right. And,
actually, there is a Tumwater High School kid. His name's Cade Otten. He's a true freshman. He's 6'5", 230 pounds. He's a tight end. I believe he is redshirting. But his dad was my high school coach, and
awesome.
His uncle is my best friend Brad, and his dad was my idol in high school. So that'll be cool. Probably get to see them. And
I hope so.
He's not playing, so I don't have to wish them any kind of luck.
Yeah. Well, it's a late afternoon game, so you got a little time, hopefully in the morning, to do some of those kinds of things.
Ooh, yeah, that might not be good.
We go on the air at 4. That might not be. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. We go on the air at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, I believe, for the statewide tailgate.
Oh, wow.
Show. First in our 3-year broadcast career doing that is we've never done the show where one person is in one town and one person's in the other town. You are on location.
Well, we did one when I was in the car.
We did one in the car.
That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was.
And it worked.
You weren't supposed to be in the car, I don't think.
Well, I was going to stop and make sure I had signal, but I never lost signal once, which was amazing.
That's right.
I think it was northern Colorado.
This one will be a little more organized.
Dialed in.
Yeah.
Except I got to sit by Sundberg for a while. Which
Riley Corcoran and Greg Sundberg will bring you all the action after the fabulous statewide tailgate show, and then we'll be back on for the post game and the highlights. You got all your credentials, all your travel arrangements, everything's taken care of.
I'm good to go.
You're good.
We're 30 minutes into the show, Denny. We haven't even really talked about Grizzly football, and we haven't talked about Mayweather and McGregor, which we will get to.
We've got a lot going on.
We do, and we're going to get to both of those when we come back on Sports Talk Tonight.
Sports Talk Tonight, live from the KGVO studio.
Missoula Sports.
Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by Granite Pharmacy, locally owned and operated pharmacy on South Avenue between Shopko and Big Sky High School. Find them at granitepharmacy.com. By Bell McCall Ford. Great selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Bell McCall is your locally owned low-cost auto dealer for over 100 years in downtown Hamilton. And the Peak Health and Wellness, with 3 premier facilities in Missoula and a dedicated staff to help you achieve and maintain your health and wellness goals.
It's time. Oh, I didn't turn my microphone on. That's giving you all the glory here. It's time for Scott Guernsey's Steel of the Week, brought to you by True North Steel, Western Montana's industry leader in quality manufactured steel products. Guerns, Steel of the Week.
Well, let's hearken back Saturday evening to the much hyped fight between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather Jr. This is a fight that's been about 2 years in the making. Let me just Conor McGregor got $30 million for stepping into the ring. Floyd Mayweather got $100 million for just stepping into the ring. That does not include their cut of the pay-per-view. They're saying that Floyd Mayweather could get up to $350 million.
It is unbelievable.
We will talk about the fight in a minute. I don't care who you are, who you're fighting, what you're doing. That is stealing. That is stealing.
That is the bigger fool theory. I mean, we will sell so many tickets access to so many bigger fools that there'll be that much revenue to share. I can't. What were they charging for that?
$99 pay-per-view, which is not.
Well, given that you got to see a full fight, what was a 10-round TKO or something like that?
Yep.
Rather than just a one-round fall down or something like that. I guess you could look at it that way and say, hey, yeah, decent.
So I don't care I don't care how good a fight it was. That's my Steel of the Week.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Steel of the Week is brought to you by True North Steel.
Now, granted, I didn't know. Yeah, I watched the fight. And it was they had 4 press conferences like a week ago, 2 weeks ago that you had, and these could have been my stupid athletes of the week. You had both of these guys just, I mean, John and acting and just being a bunch of blowhards, and who knows if it was real. Who knows? I mean, they did a nice job of pubbing up this fight.
Oh man.
It was of all of the, and I say this because my friend Rob always gets the fights, UFCs, whatever, and he never lets you give him any money. For your money, though, one of the better fights I've seen. I mean, it was, and looking back, if you were to kind of predict how this might have played out, it kind of played out perfect. I mean, you had Mayweather the first couple rounds, didn't do a whole lot. McGregor was landing shots. Later rounds, it kind of gets evened out, and then towards the end, McGregor just was totally gassed.
Ran out of gas.
And Mayweather pounced. Now, Mayweather hadn't been in the ring for almost 2 years, 40 years old. And you could tell he wasn't as quick. He wasn't as spry. The pundits will tell you that if it was any of the top 3 or 4 guys in his division, that they probably would have beat him. Just because he just wasn't. I mean, his father time's catching up to you.
But a fight like that would not have been organized if that had been the opponent. This was the whole,
And this was
UFC boxing, big mouth versus big mouth, and
this was a legitimate fight.
Well, yeah. So do you think Conor McGregor could be a legitimate competitive boxer? Maybe take a little more stamina, a little more duration, because it's not like what he is used to. I mean, there's no such thing as 30 minutes of competition in his field.
You give him another year to train.
I don't even know if he's interested.
And you know what? He lands well. And here's the other thing too: is that when the fight, they both weighed in at 147 pounds or whatever. When the fight started, Mayweather was like 148 pounds. Conor McGregor was almost 170.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
So 20 pounds is a huge difference in boxing. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. That's why there's so many weight classifications.
You know what? Honestly, if the guy wanted to, I bet you he'd be a pretty decent fighter if he wanted. I don't know if he'd be a champion. I mean, whatever. But he didn't embarrass himself. That's for sure.
Right. Did he land any punches that made Mayweather look like, I better take this a little more seriously?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he totally changed the way Mayweather fought too, because Mayweather likes to dance around and make his, pick his spots. But it was funny, they would break them, and Mayweather wouldn't even get pushed back, and he's just charging. I mean, he totally had to get inside, and it was funny because McGregor would hammer fist every round, which is a total MMA, chop the head. And they warned him every round. They never penalized him, which I thought was good because the hammer chops never really, it was reflexive. It was like what he was used to doing. But Mayweather would turn his back 2 or 3 times a round, just turn his back to McGregor. And finally, and McGregor would hit him in the ribs, and McGregor or Mayweather's like, you can't do that. And the ref's like, you can't turn around. So they were both kind of doing some silly things, but the ref did a really nice job of not penalizing them, and he kind of took control, and he ended it when he should have. I mean, it was.
Should the fight have been stopped in the 10th round?
Well, and what they said was, McGregor was gassed, but he hadn't thrown a punch in like over a minute. And it's one thing to get nailed, and it's one thing to get nailed and not fight back.
Yeah.
And I thought they stopped it fine. I mean, it was
is either then or 30 seconds later.
And it was entertaining.
Yeah. Well, and I guess if I'd have thought about that, might have been what I predicted on McGregor's side, is go in and throw as many haymakers as you possibly can, and maybe one will land and you'll outpunch him because you're not going to outlast him.
Exactly. And that was Mayweather. What he said his strategy was is we wanted him to throw his big punches the first 3 or 4 rounds, and then
and then
we would
get gassed, and then
now to Mayweather's, everybody gripes about Mayweather making all of this money, right? Well, it's kind of like college football players not getting paid, and the universities that they play for cash in on jersey sales and all this stuff. They figured there were 300,000 people that came to Las Vegas extra this last weekend. And
just to be nearby?
Just to be there for the spectacle.
Yeah.
And that's hotel rooms, that's cab rides, that's dinners, that's drinking, that's gambling, how many, did 300,000 people put in, I don't know, $1 billion into that economy?
How many spectators could actually fill the arena?
I tried to look. It's like 25, 26, 30.
It's the T-Mobile Arena. It's the new arena downtown.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what but
obviously capacity.
Yeah. So, I mean, to his point, why I'm the one they come to see, you need to pay me. And so, look at it that way, whatever. Still,
I hope he buys a cool country, and then you can
a couple of islands.
Yeah. And
that has a big tower you can ride up in an elevator, like 500 or 600 feet, so you can go visit.
What's Dana White from the UFC going to do now? I mean, Conor McGregor just made guaranteed $30 million, probably made about 50.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to give you $1 million to fight. No, I don't think so. I think I'm getting more than that. But it was a nice shot in the arm for boxing, because boxing is just, nobody cares about boxing anymore. They just don't, and it was a nice evening for boxing.
Like you said, everybody came out with some wins on that deal. So very cool.
20,000 in T-Mobile Arena.
20,000. There you go. Yeah. So
or boxing MMA.
Now, have you had time to prep a stupid athlete of the week, or do you need to?
Oh, I've got one.
You do.
This is
all right.
Really...
Nothing impromptu here.
No,
this is prep.
And it's stupid. I was going to use McGregor and Mayweather as stupid, because the whole thing leading up to this was kind of stupid.
They made a good steal, though.
The stupidest people in the non-sporting world are the Riley, 20,000 people. Thanks, Riley.
Where great minds think alike.
That's right. The stupidest people right now in the history of the world and in America is anybody that's looting or shooting guns or causing harm to anybody that is involved with the Hurricane Harvey or the fires down in Lolo. I just read that there's people masquerading as official government workers telling people they have to leave their homes, and then when they leave, they go in and steal all their stuff. You've got great people in the community that are grabbing their own boats and rescuing people and getting shot at because they want to steal their boats. I tell you, and I wrote this down, child molesters, wife beaters, drug dealers, and people that cause harm to people that are suffering through the stuff that's going on right now.
It is so cool to see the best in people, but then to hear
there's always the worst.
Hear about
too.
the absolute worst too. I mean just the absolute bottom feeders. I know it's a flood, no pun intended, but that's what you get in this situation.
Line up and give me a gun, Denny. That's all I'm saying.
Alrighty then.
There we go.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll take
We're
a break.
still going to talk Grizz football.
Hopefully I'm still here when we come back. Hey, Grizzlies versus Valparaiso when we come back on Sports Talk tonight.
Promise? Okay.
Promise.
Okay.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We're back. Sports Talk tonight, brought to you in part by Jerry Wessel's Tire Center. Locally owned Les Schwab Tire Center provides the best tire value promise. Visit them online at jerrywesselstirecenter.com. And by CHS Mountain West Co-op, Western Montana's source for Cenex fuel, feed, fertilizer, clothing, and tack for over 75 years. We'd like to thank we usually say special guest, but our guest, Kyle.
Our executive producer. And, our two callers who participated.
That's right. Brought to you by First Montana Bank, your home for free Centennial checking, plus unlimited cash back every time you use your debit card, online at firstmontanabank.com. Denny, stupid athlete of the week.
Yeah.
Stupid sports personality of the week. One of my favorite guys left on ESPN, Ryan Russillo. Oh, Lord. He is on vacation in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And, obviously he was having way too good of a time because he walked into a hotel room that wasn't his own, pants down around his ankles, naked, inebriated, and they called the cops on him, took him down to jail. Now, interesting, ESPN has suspended him. They did not fire him. So, I hope he keeps his job because he's honestly not even a sports guy.
He's a good guy.
He's the best guy they got. So, You know what? Not going to say that's happened to me, but
they said they will not fire him unless he changes his name to Robert Lee. Then
boy.
Yeah.
Boy, speaking of
there's another stupid right there.
Wow, they take the he's
play-by-play announcer.
Play-by-play announcer. He's Asian descent.
Yes.
Yep. His name's Robert Lee, and the Virginia game.
I think it's L.I., but I'm not positive. And he was going to cover the Virginia, University of Virginia game.
And they didn't want a bunch of backlash because of the Robert E. Lee and the statue stuff that's going on.
It wasn't even E. Yeah. I mean, and they were concerned that somebody would confuse play-by-play announcer Robert Lee 2017 with Civil War General Robert E. Lee from the 1860s. That was their concern.
Everybody who gets a trophy, everybody, let's be careful. Anyways, that's ridiculous. That could have been stupid of the week too, Denny.
Yeah.
But
well, I just thought I'd throw. I thought I'd impromptu. I had my own impromptu stupid this week. Pretty good, huh?
Hey, we got a football game, Denny. We are playing Valparaiso. They have the 4-7 record last year
in the Patriot League, I believe.
Pioneer League,
excuse me.
I mean, that's
which covers
San Diego, covers the whole world.
You are a heck of a pioneer if you go visit every one of the schools in the Pioneer League.
Holy cow! They were picked to finish 10th in their league. This year, although they have, I want to say, 14 starters coming.
16 actually. Yeah.
With their special teams guys, a fourth-year head coach. They haven't done a whole lot. They beat Jacksonville. Last year, who they had been beaten by 45 points the year before. So they think they've got some good stuff. All their rush yards are coming back, almost all of their receptions. But I guess we'll see. That league is San Diego's usually the good team out of that league.
It's amazing that usually those leagues, not that they've been around a long time, but usually those leagues tend to dissolve after a few years. But I think this one at least has, some legs anyway. And it looked to me, I mean, I just kind of glanced at their roster. They recruit kids all over the country, and I would assume that maybe just the religious affiliation, it's a Lutheran college, and so they've got a really good network all over the country, and so kids come from far away lands. They're only about an hour from Chicago, but kids come from a lot of different areas, and it looked like to me, Gerns, that at least on their roster, they had a pretty full complement of scholarships. Sometimes you can say, well, yeah, they're an FCS school, but they don't necessarily have the full allotment of scholarships. But given the number of kids that they had on there, I got to believe that they're pretty close.
Yeah, the Crusaders from Valparaiso,
right.
and more familiar to the sporting world for their basketball prowess. They've made some noise in the Final Four.
It's been
tournament a couple times.
It's been 20 years now, but you know what? If Montana did that, people would never ever forget that either. They made it to the Sweet 16 on an improbable finish back in '98. But it's
9-24 is the head coach Cicchini's record.
Yep.
They won 4 wins last year, their highest win total since 2007. So I guess we'll see. Don't know too much about them.
No,
their quarterback's like 6'5", 230 pounds, so a big son of a gun.
They don't, I'm sure they don't quite have the pedigree that our opener last year, St. Francis, had. A lot of people thought, why are we playing a school named St. Francis for? That was a pretty good club. In fact, they made it to the postseason. I think they finished about 7-4. That was a pretty decent club, but I don't know that Valparaiso and Savannah State, for that matter, a couple of weeks further down the road, quite have the resume that St. Francis did.
Here's who's in the Pioneer Conference, Denny. Valparaiso, San Diego, Dayton, Drake, Marist, Jacksonville, Campbell, Morehead State, Butler, Stetson, and Davidson. Now,
there you go.
Davidson, Butler, Dayton, and Valparaiso. Complete basketball conference.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the mid-majors.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess we will see.
We shall find out, and I don't have a problem with taking on a couple of presumed lesser opponents given the Big Sky Conference schedule that Montana is up against, and don't grouse about these home games not being that great, because we're going to see plenty of good home games. Hey,
as long as they're at our level,
exactly,
play anybody.
Exactly.
Looking at the starters on the 2 deep depth chart, Denny.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. And we'll take the 24 players, 11 on defense, 11 on offense, 2 special teams guys. We will be starting 12 seniors, 5 juniors, and 7 sophomores this year. Now that includes Connor Strom, who is out for the first 2 games, is suspended, and it also includes Justin Strong, who is out, broke a thumb. He is not playing this game. They hope to have him back against Washington.
Right.
And like someone said, I said, hey, he'll just cast it up and have a club. And they said, he doesn't need any more ammo. I mean, that guy flies around.
Yeah, he does.
Reese Phillips is going to be I tell you what, Reese Phillips, all summer was the leader. When we had Riley in here, I was leaning towards Caleb Hill, and he kind of thought that Gresh Jensen might get the nod. And look what we know. It's Reese Phillips. It looks like he has improved tenfold from spring ball to fall camp, and it takes a while to learn that in a Bob Stitt system. It's not the easiest thing in the world, and Phillips is the guy.
Well, I think it's going to be about accuracy, Gerns, and making the right decisions. Don't be throwing it to the wrong guy.
Yep.
Now, I know that when you practice and you do scrimmages against your teammates all spring and all fall camp and everything like that, they kind of know what you're doing, but still, that doesn't mean that it's okay to toss a few pick sixes to your teammates. Right. And there has been a little bit of an issue about that. And it's like I told Eric Tabor when we were talking about it last week. I wouldn't even bring it up if it weren't by Reese Phillips' own admission. Man, I got to quit doing that. I've got to clean that up. But I like the kind of quarterback that at least he appears to be, in that got a rifle arm, got to be accurate, but got a rifle arm, pretty good decision maker.
He's got some mobility.
If he needs to run, he will. And he's got some size.
Yep.
He's not quite as big as Caleb Hill, but he's not a small quarterback. He's in that 6'2" range.
Yeah, 6'2".
And I think he can move. It's not what he's in there to do, but it's sure nice to have that option.
Your receivers they're awful familiar because they're the same starters from last year.
Exactly.
Curran, Calhoun, Jerry Lou, and McGee. Their backups are all capable, and they're all huge. We got 6'4", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'3", 6'5", 6'3". I mean, running backs, Jeremy Calhoun, of course, is getting the nod, and look for some excitement with Elijah Lee. He's 5'6", almost 200 pounds, a transfer from Washington State. He is going to be a nice change of pace. Mm-hmm. Calhoun more of the power back.
Yeah.
Lee's going to be the guy you're not going to be able to see.
But the one that everybody is going to want to succeed will be Josh Labrador.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can you not cheer for a guy named Labrador? We'll see how that goes. But he's the big back. I mean, there's, if you wanted a big back, you went out and got one. That's for sure.
Sure, you bet.
But Elijah Lee, you're liking Elijah Lee.
Liking Elijah Lee. You know what? 4 senior starters on that offensive line. I think it's all going to come down to the quarterback. Our linebacking crew, even without Mr. Strom for a couple games, is solid. Dante Olson is the backup at the two outside linebacker positions, and he, I guess, is a stud. It's interesting. Brant Davidson and Jesse Sims are going to be the 2 starting tackles. David Shaw, the much ballyhooed, 6'5", 319-pounder. He is the beef. And it's interesting.
But he's the backup. Does that concern you?
No, it doesn't. And the only reason why it doesn't is I'm going to probably tell you that you take a look at those tackles, and they're all probably pretty similar in ability. Okay. They're going to rotate a ton. Right. Tucker Shy, of course, at one defensive end, and look out for Chris Favoroso. Our defensive ends aren't very big. Tucker Shy at 242, Favoroso at 245. They remind me of the Andy Pedic, Tim Bush,
that kind of speed,
and what have you. And then McKinley and Sanders at corners. Epperly getting the first start along with Josh Sandry, a couple of Flathead Lake boys up there. Denny, I can't wait. Oh, and our kicker and our punter. Oh my goodness, Eric Williams and Brandon Purdy. And let me tell you, McKenna Simas is getting the start at the big receiver position. Yeah, what a story.
Big indeed. We'll be on the air at 11 o'clock Saturday morning for the statewide tailgate show. See you then, Gert.
See you there, Danny. Sports Talk tonight. We're out of here.